All right, hi everyone. So today we are going to walk through the operation of a Daikin remote controller for mini split system. Obviously, these things control turning the unit on and off and the temperature that you can put them in, but there's a lot more modes and a lot more different operation settings that you can put these on to make them more efficient or more comfortable for whatever room you're in. So we'll walk through all of those options for you today. Okay, so now we're going to go through the different types of modes that this unit can operate in. Some of the modes are going to be more obvious, like the cooling and heating mode, but there's a few other settings you can put it in that can make your room more comfortable depending on your situation. So right now you'll see right up on here under the on, it has that snowflake. That means that it's in cooling mode right now. So that one's super obvious. If we're set to 71 degrees right now, it's going to operate in cooling mode to get to 71 degrees. If we want to change it, we hit mode again, and that just jumped to heating mode. As you'll see, that sun under there is set in heating mode. You'll see that the temperature changed too, because the last time we had it in heating mode, that's probably what we set it at, so it defaulted back to that last setting. But that's, again, another more obvious type of mode. This one here just puts it into fan mode, so that means it's not going to heat or cool. It's just going to blow air around at the fan. And then I'll show you later how you can adjust the fan's mode to see which way you want the airflow and how powerful you want that fan to be. This here is auto mode. You'll see the A underneath the on there. This means that you're going to set it to your temperature. It's going to read the room's temperature and decide which mode it needs to be in to optimally get to the temperature that you set it at and maintain that temperature. So that's a pretty efficient setting that you can put it in there. And this one here, the little raindrops there, is actually called dry mode. This is kind of for a humidity type situation. Sometimes these units, or a lot of times actually, for Daikin, the smallest you can put into a room is a 7,000 BTU head. That can be an issue at times, not an issue, but it can create humidity challenges because it might be too big for a bedroom, but that's the smallest unit that you can put in there. So what you want to do in situations like that, when you do feel that it's too humid, is you want to put it in dry mode, and that'll make the unit run for a longer amount of time, therefore taking more of that humidity out of the room. Instead of just getting to the temperature that you set it at quickly and stopping, it'll make it a little bit cooler and go on a longer run so that it can pull some more humidity out of there. All right, so just like the other modes that we talked about, there's modes for the fan as well. So you'll see here under the temperature, it'll have the fan, and next to it is the auto mode. So that puts it in auto fan mode. So it's going to dictate how the fan operates based on what temperature we need to get it at. If I hit this fan button here, that right there is nighttime mode. That's to make it the most quiet the indoor unit is going to run, is to put it into this. So if you're like sleeping and you're still running the unit and you can still hear it, which they're very quiet to begin with anyway, so you might not hear it, but this nighttime mode is going to make it operate at the most quiet it will. The next here, it just goes into your basic fan power. So right now it's on the lowest. If I hit it again, it goes up a notch. If I hit it again, it goes up another one, and so on until we get to the most power there, and then back to auto. Okay, now we're going to show you guys how to control the airflow direction. So just for reference, we're in cooling mode right now and the fan's in auto mode, and now we'll show you how to push air to different areas of the room. So we'll start with this button here is going to control these two levers right there. So if I hit it once, and you'll hear that beep in the background, these will start to move up and down. So if I want it to stop in one place on its way back down, I'll hit it again, and it stops there. And there's another thing that you can control for airflow direction in here. This is going to be a little bit more difficult to see, but it's this button here. You hit this, and then these little fins, these vertical fins inside the unit are going to move side to side. And if you decide that you want it to land on one specific point of the room, I'll hit it again, and they'll stop. Okay, and just to cap off what we were just talking about with airflow direction, if you leave both of them on, so you'll see both of those buttons that I showed you that I pressed before to control the airflow direction, they're both on the screen right now. That means it's in 3D airflow, so it'll switch back and forth from the two levers going up and down on the first one I showed you, and then also those vertical fins more inside the unit will keep going back and forth as well. So they'll alternate going back and forth, and Daikin calls that 3D airflow. So to have it in that mode, you want both of these displays to be on the screen. To cancel that at any time, you can just press either of these buttons and it'll stop. All right, so another function on this unit is the intelligent eye sensor. The sensor is actually right up here, and this is a good energy saving technology that this unit has. So if I turn it on, what this can do is it can actually sense movement in the room. So it'll operate at normal operation as it senses people in the room to keep it as cool as you set it to. But when you leave the room and it stops sensing any movement, it'll say it's in cooling mode. It'll go up a couple degrees to save some energy and not keep it as cool as it would if there were people in the room at the time. So it's just a nice little energy saving function that Daikin offers on this unit. So another mode that Daikin offers on this unit is the powerful mode. What this does is it's going to maximize the capacity at either the cooling or heating mode that you set it in, and it'll run for it'll max out at 20 minutes, but it'll run so that it gets to the temperature that you set it at very quickly and powerfully. So I'm going to turn it on right now, and you'll be able to actually hear and see the difference here. So as you'll hear, not so much see, it definitely ramped up. It took away my settings here and the temperature that I even set it at on the screen, and you'll just see that powerful mode. Like I said, it'll stop in 20 minutes, but it's going to work hard for those 20 minutes to really cool down this room. If I want to shut it off, just listen to it again. You can hear it kind of roaring along right now. And to shut it off, I'll just hit power again, and it'll go back to its default setting. And that's actually the same for if it did run for those 20 minutes, it'll default back to the original setting that it was in before you put it in power mode too. Okay, so all those we just showed you are some of the more pertinent modes or the operation that you're going to operate your units in when you have a Daikin installed. There are some other features to this that you can learn about, but those are kind of the more commonly known or the more frequently used ones that we showed you today. We always recommend, if you have one of these installed, to walk through it with your contractor after the installation is done and have them show you the ins and outs of your particular unit. Hope this video helped. Let us know if you have any questions.